One Tech Traveler checking in my final week here in Hong Kong. This is AMA number 9 and I'm here to answer 5 questions that you sent me across my trip, travel, lifestyle and tech. I'm actually here around Sai Ying Pun, just close to Sun Yat-sen Memorial Park. A little bit windy by the ocean and the sunset's just coming down, but I wanted to do it outdoors for my final week here before I check into South Korea. So let's go ahead and check out the 5 questions you sent me this week. The first question I received is, best part about living in Hong Kong. I've been out here for 3 months now compared to earlier in my AMAs, and it's really been a blast. I think for me, I like doing a bit of outdoors and being adventurous and seeing beyond the cityscape that a lot of people know Hong Kong for. So the best part about living in Hong Kong for me has been the outdoors. It's really easy to get out to new territories, just getting the MTR. And actually the green minibuses and the double-decker buses you find are easy to get to the more remote parts, say past Sai Kung, or if I'm in Tuen Mun or anywhere in new territories. So for me, hiking's been the best part, and I've been on great ones around Mat Close Trail towards Hong Kong Geo Park, or even the recent ones which have been Pineapple Hill and West Buffalo Hill as well. So I'll write about it all on my website at onetechtraveler.com and show you the stories about it there. Just letting the helicopters and airplanes pass by. Second question that I received is, what are my thoughts on living in Hong Kong after 3 months? Everyone has a mindset that Hong Kong is pretty expensive, and they're not wrong. It is one of the more, if not the expensive parts of Southeast Asia, but it doesn't mean that everything about it has been expensive. Food can be cheap, transport is cheap, and just being able to do everything around you, like hiking, sightseeing, all of the museums, free space stuff going on in Central Harbourfront is cheap. So there are elements where you can really have a great time out here without having to spend lots of money. But on a day-to-day or where it starts getting more expensive, one is of course rent. If you're staying in hostels or hotels, it is more expensive than what you might be used to in Southeast Asia, of course, like Vietnam or Thailand. This is a developed city after all. But generally the quality and how much you expect to pay is a bit on the higher side, especially around peak seasons. Then you can find it's pretty expensive. I've been of course balancing across the 3 months, wanting to enjoy the simple life, indulge in some of the nice things that I like to do back at home, and of course just getting more of a local feel of how I'd like to live out if I'm here in Hong Kong. So might be going to very fine dining places in Lang Kwai Fung. That's when you expect to spend a lot of money, going out for drinks, enjoying the nightlife. But if you're going to go places like Dai Pai Dong, cafes, and just living simply, doing some grocery shopping, then actually it can be alright. Bringing it all together, I've really enjoyed living out here in Hong Kong. If you're someone that likes to go out, to reach out and discover new parts, then Hong Kong is a great place. I've definitely made the most of going out to the far ends, whether it's on myself or with a group, enjoying the scenery, seeing what local living is like beyond the city. And a great example is San Mun Sai Village, and you see Beverly Hills, the two contrasts of the super affluent and the fishing village. And of course, if you like indulging in food, then Hong Kong's where it's at, because there's so many cafes, restaurants that you can find here. Third question, now that you've been here for 3 months, when you look back, what would you do differently? It's crazy. I thought 3 months would have actually been a long time, and I guess in the grand scheme of things it's pretty long. I stayed here for 1 week before, and 3 months, you know, that's quite a big step up. But even then I found, you know, you run out of time, but it becomes more of what you can do rather than all things that you want to do. So I'd probably say it's going out exploring more. I think when you're balancing doing this kind of stuff and trying to live, socialize, explore the different areas, and then sit down to have to get all of my stories out, then it's been a good challenge, and being able to try and find a sweet spot of how I balance it all. But of course, when I'm out here, it's 1 more week to go, then for sure I'd love to explore more outwards. But I feel I've got a great coverage of all the far out places in Hong Kong City. Yeah, of course, looking back, you can always feel you can do more, but I'm content. The fourth question is, what did you find most challenging about living in Hong Kong? That's a great question. Settling down, being able to make some friends, you know, not just passing by, but friends that you can actually meet on several occasions and build those connections is one of those parts. if you're someone that likes to reach out or just go out your comfort zone or just check out these random places to be able to try and reach people, then Hong Kong can actually be really rewarding for that. Met a lot of fantastic people here. You know, they've really made my experience and living here that much better, being able to enjoy doing some of these hikes, checking out some restaurants, going to some festivals like the Wine and Dine one back in October. And even then, just knowing more about the kind of stuff people like to do here locally that you wouldn't otherwise as a tourist. And that's always been my main approach with why I like to stay in places for a long time. Managing your budget, if I'm just focusing on myself and doing the simple things, then it's very easy. Eating out can be very expensive. Doing it on a day-to-day basis across 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner, where you sort of think, yeah, it's actually reasonable from back in the UK what you might want to spend. It all adds up when you think about the 3 months. So it's been a good challenge and it's not been too bad actually. So you just have to have a good discipline, make sure that you are reassessing how much you're spending from time to time and then balancing it throughout the duration of how long you're staying in places like Hong Kong. And then the final question is, how will you spend your final week here? One more week before I say goodbye to this pretty awesome place of Hong Kong and then get the flight out to South Korea and Seoul. But the final week is pretty much catching up with some of the friends that I know from back in the UK who are staying here. I want to take more aerial shots and just really go as far out as I can, and some of the ideas that I had in my mind, not necessarily touristic stuff, but just more personal exploration. And that's going to Lok Ma Chau, the final stop before the border to Shenzhen, walking all the way around the border to Mai Po Nature Reserve, and then heading down to Fairview Park into Yuen Long. Then the next part is Plover Cove Reservoir, 5-kilometer stretch when you look at Google Maps. A long stretch that people love to cycle, and you can cycle all the way from Sha Tin past Tai Po. I will definitely make sure I go there. Other places is around Fanling, again, all new territory parts, Lotus or Madai Stream, and yeah, there's a lot of things that I've got here, so I'll just list it all on my latest update on onetechtraveler.com, where you can see the kind of activities I'm doing from now until next Friday when my flight is at midnight. That is it. A bit of a whirlwind tour answering those 5 questions. Thanks a lot for joining me in AMA number 9. You can subscribe to my channel by hitting the button just down there below, and I'm also on Facebook and Instagram if you want to give my page a like and follow my day-to-day journeys on Instagram stories. So thanks a lot for joining me. Next time I tune in with you guys is when I'm going to be heading off to South Korea. See you in the next video, but until then, keep being awesome.